we have invited you to this media family in response to recent developments in our beloved country, Nigeria, especially with respect to the Supreme Court's decision on the legitimate challenge posed by opposition parties against the failures of our electoral system and the judiciary. The major culprits being INEC, the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, and the Supreme Court. We have also convened this event to inform Nigerians of our next line of action as a coalition for the protection of democracy. Coalition for the Protection of Democracy, COPDEM, is a non-governmental organization, a coalition of consensus citizens who have joined hands together for the good progress and development of Nigeria. We are particularly concerned about issues of democracy, human rights, and economic development and progress of Nigeria. We aim to take the country back from the hands of those that have ruined the country. Despite global outcry, the Supreme Court, like the appeal court, chose to make the Nigerian jurisprudence a laughingstock in the global community in our family. Bola Tinubu as a duly elected president in the presidential election of 25th of February 2023. The Supreme Court has chosen to invert common sense, true reason, logic, and principles of justice out of the window. As Nigerians, we ask, please, what is law and why we go to court? To a layman, law is simply the ratification of those common conventions, principles, ethics, and morals we have all chosen to live by as humans in a society. We make them into documents and create infrastructures and institutions to interpret them anytime there is need for clarity. Therefore, the court, as such an institution, carries the burden of reminding us why we are humans and how far we have traveled from the primitive as hunters, gatherers, wanderers that are not bound by laws but simply living in conditioned states of nature. The court and laws are there to inhibit by punishing tendencies to snatch, grab it, and run with it, like we saw on the 25th of February 2023. Courts and laws should exist to chide, reprimand, and necessarily sanction actors of such conduct, either as individuals or as institutions. The law reminds us of the need to set standards and follow them strictly. When the law courts fails to do their duty, anarchy prevails. General disillusionment about the place of the once hallowed temple of justice cessing. Then we begin to see good as bad and bad as good. The character of judges is a public property. Like we always say, that the integrity of leadership is an intangible asset of nation. The integrity of the court, as well is an intangible asset of a nation, because by those values of integrity, other nations of the world and the people we live with are able to judge our values to determine if we are worth engaging in business enterprise with. As much as we go on every day seeking for foreign direct investment, all this counts. Justice must be rooted in confidence, and confidence is destroyed when the right-minded people go away thinking the judge is biased. That is why they say justice must not always be done, but it must be seen to be done. And to quote one of our learned say, in the case of Bakari versus Appel in 1986, he repeated the above statement. Hence, to our utter dismay, eternal shame and pain, the Supreme Court, in its recent judgment in affirming Tinubu as president, has set a dangerous precedent, where no matter the gravity of any alleged offense, the suspect can readily escape justice if he is smart enough to plead technicalities. Let us look at it this way. Imagine that you were wrongly accused of murder and charged to court, and you are convicted. You are convicted by a high court, and the verdict was upheld by the appeal court. Finally, at the Supreme Court, your lawyers got hold of a CCTV footage that proves you didn't commit the crime. Then the Supreme Court justices, after looking at it, say that your lawyers didn't tender the footage at the lower court. Hence, you will be hanged as earlier determined by the lower court. Is that justice? That is justice in Nigeria anyway. A man commits forgery, snatches, grabs, and runs away with an electoral mandate that doesn't belong to him. All he needs to get away with it is to get the upper hand to declare his acclaimed victory, then take his opponent to go to court, and with utter confidence even at that. With due respect to the Supreme Court justices, forgery in election matters is not same as forgery in criminal law. That must be established. We can pick and choose when dealing with the Constitution of Nigeria. In the case of Saleh versus Abba, 2017, the Supreme Court treated forgery under Electoral Act as it is provided under that Act. According to the presiding justice in the case, he stated, and I quote, "We have reiterated on several occasions that ours is not only a court of law, but public policy. Forgery of certificates for the purpose of election and electoral processes and forgery under criminal law are not the same issue. Forgery under the Electoral Act is a specific law on forgery of presentation of a false certification for the purpose of election. The best forum for electoral forgery is the electoral tribunal as against general criminal trial. This is exactly what played out. They were using forgery as it relates to criminal law to alternate the forgery as it relates to electoral law. The Supreme Court treated the issue of Tinubu's forgery as if it is under the criminal law. What the Electoral Act is saying is different from what the law of forgery under criminal law has provided. The court, if not biased, should interpret the law as it is. Anyone who has presented a false certificate should be disqualified from contesting for any office within Nigeria. I think Section 137, subsection 304 makes that very clear. Hence, we hereby call on all Nigerians in authority to heed the call of our Honorable Justice Musa Mohammed, who just retired a few days ago, to amend the laws and raise our judiciary. I know most of you have seen and heard him speak to the media on his retiring, and he has listed some areas which are necessary that we are here to reiterate. Justice Mohammed said, and he said it loud and clear, that our Supreme Court of today has been punctuated by turbulent cracks, made outrage and asking. He bemoaned the situation where the powers of the Chief Justice of Nigeria and the depleting numbers of the justices of the Supreme Court have become the order of the day. In his considered opinion, the oversight functions of all the four major judicial bodies should not be rested on an individual alone, and that person with absolute powers, it is said, corrupts easily and absolutely. He also said that the CJN neither confers with fellow justices nor seeks the counsel or input on any matter related to these bodies. He has both the final and the only say, according to what Justice Mohammed said, and that is dangerous in a democracy. It is tantamount to hijack of national institutions and pocketing of national institutions, privatizing of national institutions. And what is important to note here is that this is a statement of a retiring Chief Justice, of a retiring Justice of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. Does that really ring a bell? It does. He has stated that the Supreme Court, as the final court in the presidential, governorship, and National Assembly election, appeal, lead litigants who approach the court seeking justice in limbo, waiting endlessly for justice to be served. This is because one man makes decision for all the organs, and why therefore shocking the justice is being delayed and crossed. He said also that North Central and the Southeast no longer has representation at the Supreme Court, which is a very dangerous trend in Nigeria's political revolution. It is dangerous for democracy and able for the two entire regions to be led out of a decision that will affect the generality of Nigeria. He further stated that the Supreme Court is in a state of unimaginable retrogression, and added that it is evident that the decision not to fill the vacancies in the court is deliberate. It is about absolute powers vested in the office of the Chief Justice of Nigeria and the responsible exercise of the same. Honorable Justice has spoken at length, and we have listed about 14 of them, but let me also say one of the things he mentioned, that it has become difficult to understand how and where, by dysfunction, the judicial pendulum swings when the rule of law is not followed, when the Chief Justice of the Federation hijacks institutions of the judiciary as stated by the retiring Supreme Court judge, where people interpret the law at their own whims and caprices. Justice Mohammed has stated that it is difficult, hence, to understand how and whereby the decisions the judicial problem assumes, faith and interest characterize the judicial institution, judges, and these things are not very convenient for national development. Finally, he concluded that the judiciary is existing far from what is far from what he voluntarily joined and desired to serve and be identified with, because it has become something else. That is an indictment on the judiciary, and this is coming from one who has served over 30 years and has risen to the edge of the Nigerian judiciary. It is not our statement. We understand that Nigerians are at a crossroads, but COPDEM and other partners in our democratic struggle have often said that our journey is not a sprint, it is a marathon. So, we want to tell Nigerians that we want to see a better Nigeria. We have to remain focused on the goal. Tinubu will not be successful in inflicting Nigerian mind with the notion that crime and corruption is okay. The 2023 election have shown the strength of the people's anti-establishment movement in Nigeria, and for the reduced rape numbers which he was given, the outing is promising in the following ways. It has shown the youths that they have a voice in the political future of our country. It has also shown that their voices can overweigh the agenda of political godfathers. It has also shown that political powers at the road can only make noise but cannot change any political outcome. Judging by the way Nigerian schools, especially Nigerian youths, stood their ground, despite what the outcome is today, Nigerians stood their ground. And here are some of those outcomes, things we must take home with us that must continue to give us confidence to believe that there is future for Nigeria. It has shown that even in rivers, where a sort of change, that they can cover it. These are achievements for Nigerians. They did not relent even after the obnoxious results has been announced. They went further to vote because they were confident in who they voted, how they voted, and why they voted. To the extent that we were able to uncover the shenanigans and globally shamed those who mesmerized with the electorates. They've shown that the people are bigger than the local charlatans in their states. Those who are asking them, where is the structure? They dumbfounded them and made them ashamed of their claimed structures and political sagacity. Nigerians and Nigerian youth, their outcome of 2023 election and their input have shown that the federal forces, that the dogged resolve of the people is standing for what they believe. Despite these federal forces, Nigerians stood for what they believe. They stood their ground. Some of them were injured, some were killed, some were denied, but the world saw them right before their cameras and television standing up for what they believe. It has shown that that the average man and woman in every ethnic group in Nigeria are frustrated with corrupt ethnic politicians pushing tribal and ethnic bigotry, and they want a better nation. We saw the Nigerian people rise in unity against politicians who base their campaigns on ethnic slurs, divisive religious, bigoted statements in an attempt to hijack power. For once, Nigerians rose above it, defeated it, and shamed those who have used these front lines to continue to undermine our democracy. The outcome of 2023 has shown that the end of tyranny and selfish God-fatherism in Nigerian politics is near. It has shown all Nigerians that they can take back their country. Finally, in the last 1 year, as a coalition made up of Nigerians home and abroad, we have consistently stood at the vanguard of promoting democracy, rule of law, offering insights on all political matters we can. We shall continue to do so even more. Now, rather than weakening our resolve, the recent happenings have further strengthened our resolve. Therefore, we are by this call extending invitation to our compatriots to join this struggle with COPDEM. And we intend to do the following. 1, we are going to relentlessly chase out the criminal political class from power. It is a task that must be done. We are going to search, encourage sons and daughters of nobodies with credibility, strong character, and integrity to run for political offices. We want to fight and contain tribal and religious sentiments in Nigeria's political space. We want to promote equal opportunities for every Nigerian. We see the promotion of national identity built on mutual understanding of our differences. We are looking forward to a day when every nationality in Nigeria can come together to produce a constitution that we can all be proud of. Therefore, this is instructive, ladies and gentlemen. Personal sacrifices are necessary for achieving lasting changes we desire in Nigeria. These we are looking to undertake and demonstrate to Nigerians that we see that what we see is achievable collectively. Thank you.